This is the case of Yoon Hee, a veterinary student who vanished without a trace after leaving eerie SOS signs on her computer. Strange coincidences led up to her death, and with the new updates, could this point to the real killer? Even after 19 years, her parents refuse to back down, continuing to fight for answers while police do nothing. Her father is now reaching out to YouTubers and anyone willing to help and keep this case alive. If you guys have been watching my channel, I've actually covered this case a few years back, but there has been new developing updates and a potential suspect, and why the family is pointing to this man, as he might know more about what happened to Yoon Hee 19 years ago. Now, before we get started, I do have to let out a frustration because I don't know what's in the air in the medical world these days, but I haven't been to the doctors in years, and I was actually trying to find a new gynecologist because I have a new insurance now, and I'm literally calling up 5+ doctor offices, and they're all telling me that either they're not in network with my insurance or the wait is 3+ months. Since when was doctor wait 3+ months? What? So I found the free and best solution that will save you so much time, and why didn't I know this existed? Today's sponsor, ZocDoc, is a free website where you can easily search and compare high quality in-network doctors so you can find the right ones near you. I love this website because you simply put in your insurance company, what kind of doctor you're looking for, from primary, gyno, eye doctor, and it will show you exactly who's in network and the next appointment time. And most of the doctors actually have appointment same day or within 24 to 72 hours, not 3 months. ZocDoc is literally life-changing. No more calling around. You can find the right provider within just few clicks. So no more excuse in putting off the doctor's appointments. You can go to ZocDoc.com/GRAZYTV, linked in the description box, and you can instantly find your top-rated doctor today. Thank you so much to ZocDoc for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back to the case. So it all started on June 5th of 2006. This is Yoon Hee. She was a 29-year-old fourth-year veterinary student at Jeonbuk National University. She was studying to become a veterinary doctor, and it was said that she loved animals ever since she was a kid. She also had, I believe, 2 dogs herself. Lee was also known to be a 모범생, which we call it in Korean as kind of like a nerd or somebody that really focuses on her studies. She was somebody that just never cut classes. She never skipped them unless there was a major reason. She was so passionate about what she was doing. And she was a fourth-year student. She was just about to graduate. So again, on June 5th, 2006, 40 of her classmates and a professor were having a little end of the semester party at a chicken and beer place. Now, this casual spot was located in Gyeongnam-dong, only 10 minutes from the villa that she was living in. Now, the 2 important figures we're going to be talking about throughout the case is S and K. They're both known as classmates of Lee. And let's get into K first. Now, K was known to have a crush on Lee, and he didn't hide it. Now, he was there at this end of the year party and was sitting pretty close to Lee. According to Kay, he says that at some point Lee went to the bathroom, came back, and asked Kay, "Hey, did you follow me to the bathroom?" And from then on, she says that she felt uncomfortable, and there's rumors that Lee was saying that somebody was making her feel uncomfortable, and people assumed that maybe it was a professor. But that was just a rumor, and the professor denies anything. But it seems like from her friends and testimonial by Kay that she felt a little bit uncomfortable that day from somebody. Now, it's June 6th, approximately 2:30 a.m. in the morning. Lee is feeling a little tired. It's 2:30, and in Korea, it is normal to be drinking out with your classmates or your friends till very late at night. Now, because it was 2:30 a.m., Kay decided to walk her home. According to Kay, he says that, "Hey, this is my friend. It's dark. It's late at night, so I just want to walk her home and do, a friendly gesture." They got close to her villa, but not exactly right in front of it. She requested that she can just walk home alone. And he said, okay, fine, and just saw her walking into the dark alley. Now, this is where the case gets really creepy and eerie because it does seem like her family believes that Lee did arrive safely inside of her villa. Now, once inside, only 30 minutes since she left the pub, it seems like Lee was using the computer. At 2:59 a.m., a.m., the computer forensics show that somebody searched the term 112, which is Korean emergency number, and the Korean word 성추행, which means sexual harassment. These searches lasted roughly 3 minutes, and it also shows that she could have clicked on Korean forms. Some random man followed me and touched my butt. Is this considered as harassment? So she didn't write the forms, she just clicked on the forms that was about these topics. It seemed like somebody might have really made Lee uncomfortable, whether that was in the pub or right before that she walked into her villa, whether this was related to Kay, who was last person to have seen her, or was it somebody else that she did not speak up about. Now the data shows that the computer remained idle until 4:21 a.m. when somebody manually shut it off. According to Lee's friends and family, Lee had a habit of leaving the computer on and never turning it off. Who was the person that turned the computer off at 4:21 a.m.? It could have been Lee, or it could have been a third party. Let's go to the next day on June 6th through the 8th. Lee failed to attend any of the classes. Now, clearly, this was unusual for somebody that was just about to graduate. Now, on the second day, when she started to miss her classes, her friends started to get increasingly worried, which in my opinion, they're great friends, because sometimes for me, I'm like, okay, if my friends miss something, like maybe they're doing something, maybe they need some time alone, but the friends were like, nope, I know Lee, and this is not usual for her. So this is when the concerned classmates, 4 of them, including S and Kay, decided to pay a visit to her villa. Once they got there, it was strange that they heard the dogs barking crazy, like, help me, like nobody's in here. They called the police, and the police got there, and of course they didn't know her passcode, so they ended up breaking the lock and going inside. When the friends went inside, the dogs made a mess. But according to the police and friends, it didn't seem like somebody robbed her place or anything, or tried to take anything. It was just the dogs making the mess, indicating that Lee wasn't home for a few days. According to the family, Lee loved her dogs. She would never leave the dogs alone. If anything happened, she would always call her family. Also, they say that her dogs would usually be in the patio. She would lock them up in the patio, but the dogs were loose inside of her entire little one room, which indicated that she came home, she let the dogs out, and never came back. Now, the most crazy thing about this case is that when the friends got there, being Korean, I kind of understand. Police, number one, didn't instruct them anything. They said, okay, her family's coming, let's just file a missing report. Her friends, thinking that they were just being good friends, they decided to clean up her room for her because her family was about to come. And according to the friends, they say that we didn't want her family to be shocked. Or if Lee was to come back, we wanted to be good friends and clean up for her if in case anything was going on personally in her life. But remember, the important information is that K and S were there, and they were part of the cleaning up process, inadvertently destroying possible evidence. Another important information is that the friends saw her washing machine, and saw that there were bed sheets, 1 piece of underwear, and couple pieces of towels. According to the family, they claim that Lee had a habit of doing her laundry separately with her underwear and rest of her clothes. So they thought that that was odd that she would be washing just one underwear, couple towels together. It wasn't like Lee. But again, it's not enough evidence to point to anything. Now, this is where the family gave us some new information about the case. So back then, when the police broke down the lock, now the door had no lock, so anybody could come in. Male friend S suggested to the family, hey, I'm gonna buy a new lock for her door. So he goes out and buys a new lock and installs it for the family. And he claimed, hey, I'm gonna leave this unlocked because Lee can come back anytime, and if it's locked, she can't come back into her villa. So at the time, to the other friends and family, it did make sense. Like, yeah, what if Lee comes back and she can't enter her own villa? So S says that he left it open purposely. Also, Lee did not have a phone at the time, which we will get into why she lost her phone. But, at the time, it did make sense to friends and family. Later on, the family would take Lee's computer and put it for forensic testing. And they found that somebody was using Lee's computer on June 8th at 2:15 p.m. to 6:05 p.m. when the computer was turned off. This was the day that the friends reported Lee missing. So somebody was still inside of their missing friend's, house using the computer. Now, Lee's sister claimed that she came to Lee's villa at 7:30 p.m. and turned the computer on. She noticed that the auto login for Nate On was off. So Nate On is kind of like Kakao Talk or WhatsApp that was used as like a messenger system on the desktop. So it's like Gmail on your computer. For me, I always have it on auto login because I don't want to log into my Gmail like every time that I click it. So same thing, Lee had it as auto logged in, but this day it was an indication that somebody logged out of her account. Now on the 9th, Lee's sister claimed that she called over S to come over to Lee's villa because she found some suspicious search like 112 or sexual harassment. According to Lee's sister, she claims that she called over S because he was known among her friend groups to be like the one who was good with computers. So she wanted S's help to see if he can find any other pieces of information that could lead to where Lee was. S agreed. He came to the villa, and apparently the sister was like, wait, there's nothing to drink here. You're coming here, trying to help us. Let me go get us some quick drinks from the convenience store. Forensic evidence show that the exact time when Lee's sister went out to go get some drinks, S has inserted a USB and downloaded some TXT file from the computer. Lee's sister had no idea S has done this. This was only later on when they saw the computer data. So why was S downloading anything from the computer without the family's approval or knowledge? So what was inside of the TXT file that he wanted to have? The computer data doesn't show what is contained inside of this file though. Another frustrating thing about this case is that actually before the family took the computer to their own forensic testing, they gave it obviously to the police. Now when the police took her computer hard drive, this part will make you livid. When the family asked, hey, did you find anything in my daughter's computer? The police say, oh, well, actually, I think one of our police crew, he accidentally deleted some of the data. What? The forensic data shows that somebody had deleted the cookies and the Nate on chat logs only for June 4th to the 8th, the exact timing and important timeline for Lee. Not even like the whole thing. They only deleted from June 4th to June 8th. Do they have some kind of a powerful backing from a police family member or friend? And on top of that, the police should take responsibility for this. Lee's sister also claims that she swears she remembers Lee telling her, somebody must be coming in and out of my villa when I'm not there. Obviously, the family was like, I cannot trust the police. So they took the hard drive and took it to their own forensic testing. Now, the forensic testing showed some suspicious patterns of someone logging into her computer when she was not home. Somebody has been using her computer without her permission before her disappearance. Now, who might have the access to her villa? Some random stranger? Or could it be one of her closest people? Her friends? Now, the craziest part from the forensic data shows that the Nate On account, you're able to see like which of the accounts the computer had logged in with. And there were 4 accounts that logged into her computer. Now, 2 of the Nate On accounts belonged to Lee, 1 belonged to her sister, and the last one belonged to, guess who? S. I'm kind of jumping around timelines here, but later on, a documentary crew would ask S, hey, the forensic data shows that your account had logged into her computer. Now, according to S, he says that, well, we were all friends back then. I mean, it was almost 20 years ago. All I can remember is that, we would study in each other's rooms and I might have used her computer. Now, here is one of the biggest clues. And could this be a coincidence or somebody related to Lee's disappearance? Now, a few days before Lee's disappearance, she actually was robbed. She claims that she was just walking home after school and somebody in a motorcycle late at night has snatched her purse. Now, instead of her purse, she claims that she had her phone. This is one of the reasons why she didn't have her phone to call probably for help. She was trying to call for 112 of the police through her computer, but I guess it didn't work. She had her ID, her wallet, her diary, her school stuff, and she lost all of that. Police tried to track down the last ping of her phone, and crazy, spooky enough, the last ping was near her school. So could the motorcyclist be one of her classmates? Now, the only thing that was missing from her house, from her villa, was a mini coffee table and a hammer that she kept in her drawer. Now, one of her female friend, claims that she swore she saw this mini coffee table just a few days before she disappeared. And the table was later found down in the streets, disposed. Now, was Lee the one who was trying to throw away this mini coffee table, or was it somebody, that was trying to get rid of it because it might have had some kind of evidence. And by far, this is one of the most eerie clues about what might have happened to Lee. So inside of Lee's veterinary school, there is kind of like a surgery operation room, right, where they operate on the animals. And there's also a carcass disposal area where you throw away the remains of an animal after forensic testing and things like that. Police found that on June 8th, an unusual amount of carcass was disposed, 110 kilograms to be exact. Now, the usual amount of carcass disposal was around 40 kilograms. So carcasses from small animals, dogs, and things like that, like 110 kilograms, unless they're throwing away like a lion. According to the classmates there, again, there are rare times when they would learn from a large animal, again, like a tiger, but this would only happen, a few times, or maybe once a year. Now, unfortunately, everything is incinerated almost immediately after the protocol. But this is so odd. And it gives me goosebumps because June 8th, that's only 2 days since she disappeared. There's no explanation of why there was so many carcass, a heavy amount of it disposed. And people are thinking, could this be possibly Lee? It's not enough to obviously convict a person, but that's so crazy. And the fact that till this day, they're not able to find a body. So this is where recently the family has been pointing their fingers at S. Now, according to Lee's father, back then when they were trying to find Lee, they say that S asked Lee's father to just eat lunch. And when they met up, Lee's father thinking, hey, this is, one of her friends who's concerned about her. For the entire 2 hours, he claims that S didn't say anything. That's odd. You're gonna call your friend's father and then just like have lunch with him and then not say anything for 2 hours, as if there was something he wanted to say. Or according to the professionals, they claim that it could be a behavior of somebody that just constantly wanted to check on updates. They wanted to see the faces of the family to see if they suspect anything or if there's any new information. There was also an incident that the family remembers that S directly pointed the fingers to K, saying to Lee's family, like, hey, I know something about K. He has this like little box and some like notes about her and photos about her. It seems like K was obsessed with Lee. So the family literally went to K's house because of what S said, and they did find this like mini box. K had written some notes about Lee, like little diary notes about Lee and what she liked, found pieces of her hair. And the family was like, this is really weird. And actually, Kay was questioned by the police because of this. And I believe he went through lie detector tests and they found that, he was telling the truth, that he had nothing to do with Lee. So the family clearly remembers this, and S, again, later, decades later, being asked about like, hey, did you really say this, and point your fingers at K, S was like, no, I don't remember. I don't remember this information. Family questions, how did S know that K was kind of semi-stalking or obsessed with Lee? And if so, why is he coming out with this information later than sooner? Or, could it be that he just thought that that was suspicious after she went missing? In the family's effort to find Lee, the family would actually pay for Lee's villa for the next 5 years in case that she would come back, or the police or anyone would find additional information. And Lee's family say that for the last 19 years, the police have not been of help. And all these data was actually shown by their own private investigating, not the police. Because clearly it seems like the police deleted her data, so they don't want to find the truth for some reason. On April 26, 2024, Lee's father, now at the age of 87, and his wife held a press conference at the Chunbuk Police Agency demanding full transparency and accountability. He also files a criminal complaint in 2019 against the police officer for neglect and evidence suppression. And here are some new developing updates and why this case is being talked about again in 2025. So recently this year, the family, out of frustration and wanting to find their daughter, set up life-sized cutouts of Yoon Hee around Cheonju, including near her university and community spot to maintain public awareness. Now, shockingly, 8 out of the 10 cutouts were vandalized. They realized somebody was vandalizing it and decided to put up some cameras. And guess who was caught on camera vandalizing them? It was S. Now you can see in the videos, he has gloves on, he has a mask on, and he even brings a knife and starts to cut out the life-size, cutouts of Lee. He claims that he was stressed due to how he's been portrayed by the media and by Lee's family. S claims that for years that the family have been taunting and pointing the blame at him. I mean, the family did make actually a YouTube channel to spread awareness about their suspicion against S, and that they were putting these signs near where he was living, and it was like, hey, you're pointing to the wrong suspect. You're ruining my life by calling me a murderer when I had nothing to do with this. And this is why he claims that he was just so frustrated he wanted to take down the cutouts, which could be understandable. If you're being pointed as a killer when you're not, that could actually defame you from your job, from your family, and etc. But people found it very, very interesting that why he would put on gloves, why he would put on a mask, and even bring a knife to as almost like slitting her face. I thought that was just so creepy. Now, could S be an innocent friend who just tried to help Lee? Or could S know more than what he's claiming to know? She was actually missing in the same clothes that she was found that day that she went to the pub with. Now, she left with the same clothes. Somebody could have knocked on her door, and if she opened it, it potentially was somebody that she knew. It's just so odd to me that she would be searching up sexual harassment. She decided to leave without her phone. She didn't have her phone to contact, the police or anybody. So why did she open up that door, and who did she open up that door to? Or was it somebody that knew or had the key or the passcode to her villa? Lee would be in her mid-40s if she was here today, and Lee's father says that his last wish, and he's 88 years old today, is to see his daughter one more time. So let me know what you guys have thought about today's case and what you think could have happened to Lee. Thank you so much for watching, and ZocDoc for sponsoring today's video. See you guys in my next case.